Is there a reason for every single mitzvah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us? Or are some of them without a reason at all? It seems to be a machlokes Reshonim. Rashi in this week's parsha, and Rashi in Kidoshim, famously says, Pasuk Perek Yutes, Pasuk Yutes, he says that although Mishpatim have reasons, and Mishpatim, not only do they have reasons, Rashi told us in Achrei Mois that even if HaKadosh Baruch Hu had not said it, we would do that. We should enact them ourselves. But Chukkim es chukaisai tishmeiru. Rashi says ve'elu hein behem tchalei sabia klayim and sad chalei sizur klayim and ubeget shatnes loyala alecha. Chukkim elu gzeres melech she'ein tam ledava. There's no reason. There's absolutely no reason for these mitzvahs. They're just a gzeira. The Ramban says it doesn't mean that there's no reason at all. Not that there's no time. It can't be that there's no time. Everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does is understood. Is with the ultimate understanding and the ultimate chachma. It's just that it wasn't explained to us. The Umais and the Yetzer Hara is gonna Meshivan Aleim and the modifies Yisrael, and therefore we should just know that we're not expected to understand it. But of course there's reasons. And they might not be for our benefit, and we might not appreciate their objective. But of course, avul kulam betam nachem v'teyala shleima, and the Ramban goes on and explains the reason for klayim and shanas. But Rashi says ein tam l'dava. So Rashi seems to say ein tam l'dava, and Rashi is consistent because Rashi in Brachas seems to say the exact same thing. It's a Gemara in Brachas. Daf Lam Gimel Amid Beis. The Mishnah says that if somebody's mispal, that he should that the same way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu had Rachmanos on a kan tzipah, on the birds in the nest, so the same way he should have Rachmanos on us. So the Mishnah says Mishaskin. So the Gemara wants to know, well, my timer, what should be wrong with that? And the Gemara says two sheetas, a machlokes. One man says. It's some animals are going to hear that HaKadosh Baruch Hu had Rachmanos on this one and not on that one, and that's not fair. That's not fair. He's being matal kinem b'ma'aser bereishis. The other one says, Rashi explains that HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't do these things for Rachmanis el lahatel al Yisrael chukei gzeirosav, just to put on Klal Yisrael these laws like di alahem without any reason, just to inform them like di alahem shehem avodav v'shemer mitzoisav gzeiros chukoisav afdram sheish l'sotim l'akam l'ashav aleim v'leim matzerich b'mitzazu, just to indicate that Klal Yisrael are avodim HaKadosh Baruch Hu put on these mitzvahs that have no reason. Not that we don't know the reason, that they have no reason, and therefore, if somebody's going to say this, he's opening up. It's not true. There are no mitzvahs. There are no reasons. So. And Rashi, the famous Rashi in Parshas Chukas, Rashi in the beginning of Parshas Chukas, where it says Zois Chukas HaTorah, and Rashi says L'fisha Satan v'umas ha'olam modifies Yisrael. So Rashi they ma'atav mitzvah. Rashi says L'fika kasubam chuka gzeirihim l'fanai ein lecha rishos laharachra. That's why it's mishaskin I say, because ein lecha rishos laharachra. Not only don't we know the reason, but there is no reason, and you're not supposed to be thinking about it. It's closed. But the Ramban says no. The Ramban says that there is a reason. Not always are we informed about the reason. Not always do we know the reason. But of course there's a reason. And when we know the reason, great. And when we don't know the reason, we should appreciate that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did it. Maybe not for our telos, for the general good, or for some sort of for some other cheshbon. But of course, the Eibishter has a reason. The Chinnuch, a famous Chinnuch Chinnuch makes a hakdama in Mitzvah Kufnon Tes in Parshas Shmini before he explains the reason for Tumas Shrotzim. So he makes a whole hakdama, and it's a famous hakdama that people quote. Also, he says the same thing like the Ramban. He says the same exact. He goes with the same derech that not that, of course, what we know and understand, we can explain, and that's what the Chinnuch always gives the time mitzvahs. But some of them we don't know, and some of them we don't understand. That Kadosh Baruch Hu covered those mitzvahs, and he says, listen, whatever we don't know, and it's okay. We don't have to understand everything. But of course, there is a reason. There is a reason for everything. And he evokes a Gemara in Sanhedrin, and the Gemara in Sanhedrin says. And the Chinnuch says that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't tell us these reasons. The Gemara in Sanhedrin Daf Chof Aleph Amud Beis. The Gemara in Sanhedrin Daf Chof Aleph Amud Beis says, Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, Neymar lo nizgalu taimei Torah. How come HaKadosh Baruch Hu did not tell us the reasons for some of the mitzvahs, for some of them? Sharei Mekrois nitlu taimam nichshav b'hem gadol olam. Ksiv li'arba lo'nashim amashmul ani arba v'lo'yasa. That there was HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't want to give us reasons, because if He's going to tell us the reasons of some of the mitzvahs, then people will be nichshal, and they might come to think that they could get around these reasons. Therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu kept the reasons away, and that's what the Chinnuch says. That's why by Chukkim we don't know the reasons. But of course there are reasons. The Eibusha didn't tell us all the reasons. But of course there are reasons. Not like Rashi. Rashi says that Chukkim do not have reasons. And the Ramban and the Chinnuch in the Hakdama in Parshas Shmini seems to say clearly that there is reasons, just not all the reasons we know. Not all of them the Torah told us. And of course, it's part of Limud Torah to understand the reason of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but we should appreciate that we don't know all of them. Either that will be how we defend ourselves against the Goyim and the Yetzer Hara by saying we're not supposed to understand. And also the Gemara in Sanhedrin that says that's a defense that nobody should do like Shlomo HaMelech and try to circumvent the reason, because we weren't told the reason clearly, so therefore nobody's going to go ahead and go around and be over like Shlomo HaMelech. But the problem is that Rashi himself is a steerer. Because Rashi in Sanhedrin, Daf Chof Aleph Amud Beis, Rashi says when it said on Rabbi Yitzchak Neimal in Nizgalu Taimei Torah. So Rashi says which ones are Lo Nizgalu Taimei Torah? Rashi says Kigoyim Lo Manesra Levisha Shatness V'Achilas Chazira Ki Yetzu B'hem. Levisha Shatness is over here in Parshas Kedoshim. That's one of the things of as Chukoisai Tishmairu that Rashi told us that's she'ein tam l'davar. So here in Kidoshim, Rashi is telling us she'ein tam l'davar that although there's reasons for mishpatim and there's reasons for all the other mitzvahs, but for Chukkim there are no reasons she'ein tam l'davar at all. Not like the Ramban, not like the Chinnuch. And in Sanhedrin, Rashi says that the reason why those reasons were covered is because people will be nechshel if they'll know the reasons. But there's reasons. There are reasons. The Eibusha didn't spell them out that we should this way because if they're going to be spelled out, somebody's going to be nechshel. So Rashi seems to be a stira. So I would like to suggest that Rashi learned that the Gemara in Brachis, the two explanations why Al Kanzipi Yagia Rachamecha, the Torah says that Mishaskin Oisai, and the Gemara brings two Amoraim, they are arguing on this Machlekes Gufa. They're arguing on this question: are there reasons for Chukkim or not? The second mandama that says that the reason is because Shematel Kinim B'Maisa Bereshis. I mean, the second that Mneisha Oisa Midas Shakash Baruch Hu Rachamim Ve'enam Alexeris clearly holds that there are no reasons. There are no reasons, like Rashi explains. She'ain Tam L'Davar. But the first mandama that said that Mneisha Matal Kinim B'Maisa Bereshis, he says that of course that there is reasons. And the reason is Rachmanis. But don't mention it, because if you're going to mention it, now the birds are going to hear, the other animals are going to hear that Kadosh Baruch Hu had Rachmanis for birds. But of course but it's true that there is Rachmanis for birds. So Rashi learned that this machlokes that we're understanding is a machlokes of Rashi and the Ramban is really a machlokes of these two Amoraim in the Gemara in Brachis Daf Vam Gimel Amid Beis. And Rashi can also understand that the Medrash Tanchuma, the famous Medrash that Rashi always says, that there's certain va'umos moinin achareim. That's one reason. That's like the reason that explains that the Eibusha didn't teach us any Chukkim. Didn't teach us the reasons for Chukkim because because there are no reasons. There are no reasons. She'ein tam l'davar. But the Gemara in Brachis, the Gemara in Sanhedrin is arguing with that Tanchuma. And the Gemara in Sanhedrin Taka holds that there is a reason. There is a reason, but the Eibusha didn't want to spell it out because one could be nichshel. So the answer why, to answer the steer in Rashi, Rashi in so many places says she'ein tam l'davar, and Rashi in Sanhedrin clearly says that Chukkim have a reason. Rashi in Sanhedrin Choval Van Beis clearly says that there is a reason. The Torah says that Rashi learned that it's a machlokes. It's not a machlokes Reshonim. It's a machlokes Amoraim in the Gemara in Brachis, and it's a machlokes the Gemara of Sanhedrin versus the Medrash that Rashi brings down a few times in Chumash that says ein tam l'davar.